All right. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I am fixing to work on the camper again. I had a window where the bunk is over the cab that's leaking, so I'm gonna work on that today. This is my brand new camera that I got for Father's Day. My beautiful wife got this for me. I just happened to mention, you have to watch that you say around it. I just happened to mention that I'm gonna go back to GoPro. I've tried other brands, and I'm not saying GoPro is the best. I've got one, probably a $50 camera. It's a little bit smaller than this one that I've used on all my videos. They're not great, but they're not real bad. But anyway, and I'm not knocking GoPro either. I know the GoPro's a lot better camera, I believe, although they're about 3 times, 4 times pricier. But nevertheless, this is a brand new one. My wife got it for me, and I appreciate her so much. She bought me one 2 or 3 years ago, and I never did learn how to use it because every time you would get something set up about the way you want it, the picture would go away. And I didn't know that it was just battery saver. This one's got the same thing. So it doesn't really matter if it goes off. Now this one has got a red light that comes on. And it's flashing. I don't really know what that means, but I don't think that'd be a good sign, other than maybe it's letting me know it's recorded. But my shop was upside down, and now it just looks like an old dirty shop. It was really bad earlier today, and I've cleaned up and moved stuff out of the way. My shop's not near big enough for what I'd like to do, but thank God I've got it. But like I said, I'm fixing to go to work on my motorhome, and I have that window that's out. And it's raining too, by the way. It's supposed to rain all week. But this is inside, and I'm gonna go around to the other side and see if I can get a decent shot of that to kind of show you what it is, because I've already took the window out. It had tape over it, and I took the tape off, and the window almost fell out. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's the window. I'll take a better picture from the inside. And it was leaking, but it had a right to leak. It looked, I mean, that whole wall was rotten. And I finally fixed that step, so I don't have to worry about it no more. Now all this is going to be, I've never used this camera before, so. Oh, I've got to turn this on too. I turned that off, and I don't ever turn that off, but I did the other day just for the heck of it. Now then, that's supposed to turn everything off. Oh, what's a lot of work. This right here is rotten. Now I've already tore all of this out. I've got to cut those screws out that's right there. Several of them down through there, and I've got to cut those out. And I've got to cut a piece out of plywood here. And I think that right there, let me do this right here. I think that right there is nothing but styrofoam. I do believe. You can see how rotten that is. Not good. But it leaked around the window. Now this is dry now. It's been raining. It rained hard last night. The other day I come in and all of this in here was wet. But it's all dry now because I got it covered up. So I know that's where my leak was, or is. So what I'm going to do today is try to cut me a template out. And I had a tape measure, and I laid it down over there. I got to go back over and get it. But I'm going to measure from here to there and then from there all the way to the front and cut me out a piece if I can find a piece of cardboard big enough. I hope I've got one over there. Hopefully I do. I wished I had to walk all the way back over for the tape measure. But anyway, that's what my plan is. So y'all hang in there with me and I'll see if we can get this done. I just now noticed something. It looks like, let's see if I can get this right here. It looks like that shrunk or something down through here. So I don't know what that's going to be like. It just goes to there. So that right there is insulation. But anyway, I'm just going to put this in for right now. Now I may end up having to do something to that too, but this is the inside. This right here is what goes here. If you can see that or not, I don't know. Let's see, this right here goes here. You can tell. That's what actually holds it in, holds the window in. From the screws go from inside to outside. So, and the plywood that I've got, the plywood that I've got is not 3/4. I may have to go get me a piece because I really want it to be the same coming all the way out, because it had 3/4 on it, and then not plywood, but that stuff. So I don't know if I can find any that close, but anyway, I'm gonna look. But that's what my plan is. So I'm gonna quit right now, shut this down, and I'm gonna go get my tape measure, measure that, and go from there. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, I don't know, I'll probably be in the way enough that you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to get this piece right here, cooperate a little bit. That's going to be pretty close. And, you know, considering close is about as good as I can get on anything. Then I'm going to have to add probably another 1/2 inch up there. And then, actually, let me get that. And this there. This there. This is not going to be easy to do. But I got to do it, so it doesn't really matter how easy it is. Now then, what I need to know, I need another hand, don't I? Yeah, man. Golly, that's not going to be easy. Wonder if tell you what I better do. I better go get me some tape. I'll be back in a minute. What I done, I cut me a template out, put it in there, make sure it was the right size. And then I took that template right there and made this. Hopefully you can see that without the sun glare. Anyway, and I made that. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've also put it in and marked my window hole. I'm going to cut this out. And then I'm going to turn around and make another one just like it. I'll have 2 of them because this is supposed to be 1 inch and that's 5/8. So it's going to be a little over 1 inch when I get through with it. But anyway, that'll take care of that leak by the time I get the window back in and seal it and everything. So I'm proud that's working out okay. took longer to do this than I thought. It was raining this morning when I got up, so that's just the way it is, though. Life is like that. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll see if we can get that. Now, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. This template is what I was showing you a while ago. That's what I used to cut this out. Now I'm going to drill a hole in it and get this started. I'm going to go ahead and cut this part and this part, and then I've got a different saw down here that I can cut the round corners and stuff. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. So we'll see how this is going to work. Make sure I ain't cutting nothing but that. Jigsaw is what I'm going to use. Once I get the straight stuff cut, then I'm going to use the jigsaw to cut all the round parts. That's just nothing that you didn't know, I'm sure. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. The batteries run down on my GoPro and I left my battery sack over yonder. But I took that template and made this. And then this fits like it's supposed to. So I went ahead and marked it out. And I'm going to cut that out. And that way the two pieces will end up being an inch. Actually, it's just a little over an inch, but that will be okay. I don't know if there's a good way to do this or not. Now then, the only thing I know to do is cut this and this, and then slide it back up and then do the rest of it, I think. And then cut the place out for the glass last. That may not be the best idea, but I think that's what I'm going to do. If I can get this cord unraveled here. Hopefully that will work. Actually, I can go pretty good ways down through here too. Now then, I'm sure you couldn't see that, but I did it, I promise you. I'm going to have to go get me some water here in a little bit. I'm about to parch myself to death. I got water, but it's over yonder, it ain't over here. And don't forget, yonder is a word. Alright. Alright. This needs to go way up and underneath there. Yeah, I can do that. And that needs to get hung up on that. Come apart, didn't it? I think the rest of that is going to be this jigsaw. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. I'm sure that's not perfect, because if it was, I wouldn't know how to operate. But anyway, got that part done. Now cut the hole out. I guess the rest of it will be done. I don't know. I'm going to cut my 4x4 up no more than I have to. I'll cut all my straights, and then I'll work here. Cut all my straights, and then I'll do my roundies. And I know you can't see that, so you're probably saying, why in the world did you do that for if you can't really see it? But we all got our weird ways. Then can see it and I can too. I think that's all I can do with that. So, we'll see, can we finish it with this? Let's see here. Move that forward right there. Now see, I'm going to have to do this left-handed so you can see it. I ain't left-handed. I ain't really good right-handed, but I showed up okay. Now then, turn this around where I can get down here. Because all I like now is finish it. I think. That's it. Okay, just got her balanced in there good. Now, if anybody needs a piece of wood like that, I got one. Alright, that's it, fellas. Now this right here, and I'll lay them side by side to make sure, should be the same size as that one over there. So, this should work. And I'm gonna, my battery run down in my GoPro. Alright, maybe you see a little bit of what I'm doing here. This is supposed to be the finished product. Oh man, the saw I got cuts rough. This, catch on that, and then go up in there, like into that, maybe. That'll work. Now then. Watch that thing make a liar out of me. Sure as a will. I have to pull a shoe off to get in this. I had that in there a while ago, but it ain't gonna go now. Well, anyway, there it is. It's in there. All I got to do is put the window in, glue it down good, and then figure out what I'm going to do with this outside here. But it's in there. I did not, for some reason I didn't have my video, I didn't have the camera on. And it was not easy to put in, but I got it in there. To me, that's all that matters. But anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I've got done. So I'm going to quit for today and come back tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty. So I'm going to try to finish that tomorrow. At least get the window glued in and all that stuff. I got a whole lot of cleaning to do on that window. So I'm going to do all that. Maybe I'll video that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. This window is the one that goes in the front of the one I've been repairing. It's got sticky junk all over it. And I'm in the process of trying to clean that up. I've got this brake cleaner Doing a pretty good job so far. But I don't know what it's gonna do. If I keep spraying it around, I don't know. Oh, I know what it is too. Been taking that brush that helps too. Anyway, it's coming off slow. Of course, some of the paint's coming off too. Nothing I can do about that right now. But anyway, you see what I'm doing, and it is working. All I'm trying to do right now is get the sticky stuff off. I've already got it off the back side, and then there's a seal that has to be glued on the back side also. Before I put it in. The window does not slide, it's not going to. They've got stuff glued all the way around it. I'm gonna leave that there because we got a trip coming up and I don't wanna cause a leak where it ain't leaking. It's leaking right down the top right here. This was just flopping around, no seal at all. Because the inside of the camper that I've not figured this camera out yet. I will. My son's really a lot better at it than I am. The battery went down on it yesterday and I didn't know that I had the batteries with me. I thought I left them over at the house, but I didn't. They were over here. Anyway, hopefully today we'll get this in enough that we can use it coming up for the 4th of July. My grandson's coming up. I'm really proud of that. He's gonna spend a couple of days with us while we're camping. Some of that's coming off pretty easy. Some of it ain't coming off. Excuse me, ain't wanting to come off. It's gonna come off. Whether it wants to or not. There is some of this that is on here. That right there was on my scraper. Just done dried. I took a heat gun and heated that up. Made it come off of there. A little easier. Right there's probably gonna leak because I got that brake cleaner on it. But anyway, it's coming along. I just want to show you what I'm doing. And then we will pick this up in a little bit when I get closer to done. It's looking better. It's a long way from like I'd like to see it, but it is looking better. That's usable. All this needs to come off. Really, I need to pull all the seals out of it and reseal it, but I don't have time right now because we've got a trip coming up. This will keep the rain out, and that's what I'm mostly interested in. I'm going to turn this over. There is a seal that goes all the way around this thing here that I'm going to put on here in just a little bit, and I get it on, I'll come back and then we'll go from there. I'm getting it ready to stick back in the hole and put my screws and stuff in it. You can see where the screws go. But hopefully that will seal good. I think it will. But I won't know till I get it in there and we get first rain. But I'm confident that that will work. But anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit. We'll continue this whatever you want to call it. All right, I've got this thing in there, which was not easy to do, but I got no way of actually filming that because I'm by myself around here. So I'm just going to kind of guide you through it. But I got up on this ladder, which is never a good idea, and laid it right here on top of that. Then got up here and put it in place. No, you can't tell much about that, but I put it in place, and I got that ladder right there leaning against it. Hopefully that'll hold it in until I can get some screws in it. And that's what I'm fixing to attempt to do now. I think it'll be okay. Just to make sure, I'm probably going to put a little extra caulking outside. Now then, if I can find out what I did with the screws, there's some right there. I don't know, I'm just going to stick a couple of screws in it. I would like to push it up a little bit if I could. You can see, I'll put this right here, maybe you can kind of tell what's going on there. But anyway, it needs to go up. And the only thing I know to do is try to put a couple of screws in it and then pick it up and tighten them up. I don't know if that'll work or not, but maybe. I don't know if there's a place that I can put that camera where y'all can see or not, because when I get up in there amongst all this stuff, I don't know how much of that you're going to be able to see. But anyway, maybe you can see some of it. But my thought is to put a couple of screws in it and see if I can pick it up and see if there's any way I'm trying to put the screws right back in the same hole they come out of. Sometimes that's not easy to do, especially when there ain't no light in here for quite some time. So now then, what was I doing? I'll see if I can find the hole. Get enough of them screws started. Shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. Finding all the screws may not be easy. Now then, that's a few of them. I don't know if it's going to be any way pick that up. I'm going to take those out and put new screws in. I just want it there for that will not fall out. I'm going to go around yonder now and look and see if it's squeezing any stuff out. It looks like everywhere there's a screw, it's drawing it up pretty tight. But what I'm going to do when I get through with all that is caulk around it real good too. I don't think that'll leak. So I guess if I showed you, it might help. I don't think that'll leak. I'm going to caulk around all this once I get all the screws in there. That's much better than it was. Before, you could take this window right here and rock it back and forth. So it's better than it was. All right, I'm going to go up and see if I can find some screws. And then I'll come back and pick up where I left off. Okie dokie. All right. It's looking better. It was really bad before, but it's looking better now. So this is what I've got right now. And I still have not figured no way to put a curtain up there. I'm gonna have to somehow. But this right here is what I ended up with as far as my replacing all this. This is over just a little over an inch thick, and I'm gonna spray paint it here in a minute. I got my screws in, got everything done as far as making sure that it don't leak. I've got to find a piece of trim to go over there in that corner, and I've got paint to paint all this other stuff with, and that's what it's for. It's actually paint for this right here, if you can see it. But anyway, I'm gonna, all the stuff that I took out's down here, so I have not accomplished a whole lot, other than I'm real proud to have that much of it done. And when I get it painted, I'll come back and show you. I had to replace some of these screws with different types of screws, like that one there, because they were watered out, I guess. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to paint that, and then paint this up here, or some of it, and then I'll come back and we'll look at it and see what you think. All right. That looks a little bit better, don't it? It's just spray paint. That's all it is. Trim, I'm gonna have to get some trim and put up there stuff, but I'm not worried about it right now. Like I said, we're fixing to go out and do some camping, so my grandson and granddaughter is going to come go with us this time. I bought some curtains to go up there, but I'm going to have to take them back. They ain't no way to mount them. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there. I'd like to just cover that up myself, because we've got plenty of light in here. But anyway, it is looking a little bit better. I'm fixing to paint that up in there. When I get back to it, maybe you can look at it and see. I think that'll look better. This thing had, the whole ceiling was really bad, where it had been leaking, probably around this. I don't know where it was leaking. I've sealed the whole top. So far we've not had any leaks or anything, but anywho, it's looking up. It looks a little bit better. And if I can find some trim like that over there, that would be cool, but I don't know. Probably gonna have to make me up something. I'll do that as time goes on. I don't know. All right, that's looking a little bit better. It's a long way from right, but I'm gonna cover this part up with something as close as I can find to that right there before it's all said and done. I'm just trying to get this thing where we can use it. I think we got 8 days left. Make sure we don't drown. But that looks a lot better. You can tell the difference between that, and you can tell right there where I drew that line, which I got it on that too, but that looks a lot better. And that stuff is really good. That's it. Cover up, stain, sealing, sealing paint. But anyway, that's some good stuff. It takes a lot of it. Can don't go, but I used that from here back to there. That's a can. Now, I've already put it all the way down the top of the camper, and that was several cans. And then we ordered 8 more just to do this, and then I like a little bit in the bedroom. All right, back again. Now I've got all of that painted. Now I'm not no professional by any means, but that looks a lot better. So does that. I've still got to clean this up real good, and I've got to cut my bed out, plywood for the bed. And then, like I say, I've got to figure something about a curtain or something up there. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that either. But it looks a lot better. Just wanted to show that. And my battery's about dead again. I'm not sure if I did this a while ago or not, but I'm going to make sure that I do. I did finish this up. Now, there's shadows and stuff that's on it, but it looks with the light on. Let me see here. Looks a little bit better. But anyway, that looks better. Livable now, I think. I'm going to clean all this up tomorrow. I've got my beds cut out, or my plywood cut out for the bed. I'll put that on tomorrow, and then I'll go get me a blow-up mattress if I can find one. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So appreciate you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. All right. I think I'm done for the most part. Get this thing around here, but I think I'm done for the most part. I have not got my trim up over there. I've still got to do that, and I will. My main thing was making sure I had a place for my grandson and his wife to sleep, and that will work fine. I'm going to put a air mattress on top of it. I'd like to find just kind of a, you know what I'm saying, something about like so, to put up there and leave up there. The air mattress would have to, well, wouldn't have to, but anyway, we'd probably let it down and air it up every time we use it. I'd like to put something on here that I can just leave, because this is actually what we watch TV off of. That TV right there is coming out. We've got a flat screen back yonder. You can tell I've still got a big mess here, but I'll clean it up tomorrow. But the main thing I want to do was share that so you can see I did finish it. A lot of times I get stuff started and I don't. And I really hadn't finished this either, to be honest with you. But it will work well enough to camp 4th of July. So that'll work, as far as I'm concerned. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I can do this or not. I will try. I don't know if there's enough room up here for that. Barely. But this right here, we'll ride on top of that if I can get it up there. And then you still got this open space in here. Hopefully you can see that. But anyway, There'd be an open space there. We can go from the front to the back through this, and you could do it with that on there, but it makes it harder. But anyway, I'm done with it. That's all gonna get done, except, like I say, put a mattress on it, make a bed where they can sleep. That won't be a problem. But anyway, it turned out okay for an old man. Know what I mean? So, appreciate you guys. I've said this before, but if you learn anything or if you enjoy the videos, give me a thumbs up, maybe share. It'll help me. I don't have a whole lot of followers, but I do have a few. And guys, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I enjoy doing this, and I'd like to keep on doing it. And I'm going to, if nothing happens. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm just going to keep on going. But like I said, if you can, give me a thumbs up, share, and see if I can get a few more people watching. That's just encouraging. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great day, and God bless you. Bye.